big-name quarterback still available. That would be Rodgers and Russell Wilson, who most likely will return to the Steelers. The Giants are also in the mix for a quarterback, but could use their third overall pick on the signal caller of the future. Both Rodgers and Russell Wilson had tough seasons last year, but their numbers still solid. They posted nearly identical completion percentages and ranked in the top half of the league in passing yards per game, with Rodgers cracking the top 10 in pass TDs. Stephen A.
With Aaron Rodgers, Rice Krispie treat, or multigrain bar? You decide.
Who do you feel like has more to prove at this point? Is it Rodgers or Russ?
I definitely think it's Aaron Rodgers. Listen, not that Russ doesn't have anything to prove. I mean, if you remember Molly, Doggy, RC, in Russell's first 3 seasons in the National Football League, he only made about $2.2 million as a third-round rookie. Not trying to absolve him, but I throw out those stats because it's important to point out that it's worse for Aaron Rodgers from this perspective. He won the Super Bowl in 2010. He was universally recognized one of the greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Yeah.
And he ain't been back to the Super Bowl since. And then he wanted control. He wanted the ability, to influence an organization in terms of helping make personnel decisions and beyond. And since he's had that power, his career has nosedived.
Chris, we got Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, and you are the Giant fan extraordinaire. Chris, who do you want?
Give me Aaron Rodgers all day. He's more accurate. He doesn't play hero ball. He's not just throwing up the long ball. And the Giants wide receivers are built for somebody who, with Aaron Rodgers' skill set, throwing the quick slants, Malik Neighbors taking it to the house. Give me Rodgers all day.
As we give, billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a proxy war.
I'm telling you that you need to go the opposite direction. You need to go to Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited. Yeah, you got to be unlimited.
The Ayahuasca King is going to sandbag your franchise. You need a man who can actually run in the backfield, whose Achilles isn't being held along by fishing line, okay? And then all the baggage that goes with it, Chris, the Pat McAfee show, the Vax stuff.
I think there's some sentiment that there's some sort of moral victory out there that we hung with the champs and that our defense played well. Pat didn't have a crazy game, and Mr. Pfizer, we kind of shut him down a little bit. He didn't have, his crazy impact game.
And not to mention, his stats were like empty calories at McDonald's, Chris. Are you willing to sign up to that?
Okay, first of all, there's some Jets bias there. You talk about empty calories.
You ever done anything dangerous? Oh, jeez.
The guy walked out of the game in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter with the lead how many times last year?
Bunch.
Exactly. So you say empty calories, he doesn't play defense either. If the Jets defense held up maybe twice, now you're at 7 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins, but they had the chance to win 10 games last year. With Aaron
Rodgers, Rice Krispie treat, or multigrain bar? You decide.
That is dangerous. I've done something like that, too. I won't tell anybody.
It's going to be the quarterback, so I think there's more pressure on him. So there's more pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and here's why. And we know this, right? Doggy, you're talking about what Aaron Rodgers had an opportunity to be, right? He had an opportunity for immortality. And, Stephen A. is saying he has these things to prove. It's like Two-Face said on Batman, right? You either die a hero or you live long enough to be the villain. He's in the villain stage of his career. But if you find a way to win a championship with the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if the Minnesota Vikings decide to let you get a year of a run there, now your name is mentioned with the Peyton Mannings. Your name will be mentioned with the Joe Montanas.
If Russell Wilson leaves the Giants as a possibility for a landing spot and goes to Cleveland, do the Giants become the laughing stock of the NFL?
Absolutely not. We have 2 championships in the last 25 years. Yes, the last 10 years has been tough, but Russell just doesn't want to play in the big lights. That's all it is.
You think that he's going to melt under the big lights in New York? You think that's the problem?
Unlimited. You got to have a thought process of being unlimited.
100%. 100%. And go to Cleveland where he can stink it up and nobody's going to notice.
Well, I got to admit, at least the Jets have a young quarterback who's 26. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a minute.
What's
we're talking about Russ. We're talking about Rodgers. Jets just signed Justin Fields. I mean, hell, he got Wally pipped by Russell Wilson without even getting injured last year.
Hold on. So you're telling me that Justin Fields is no better than Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers?
Russell Wilson took his job without him even getting hurt.
Russell Wilson was the guy for the job, and Mike Tomlin is a seasoned head coach, and he can't let Russell Wilson, the vet, start over Justin Fields. Justin Fields was 10 touchdowns to 1 interception when he got benched, and he was 4-2. What happened to Mr. Unlimited after that?
Dude, yeah, exactly. He's 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. He got thrown on the bench. Like, Mike Tomlin's a no-nonsense guy. He does not cater to any of his players, and he put him on the bench.
Well,
so what does that tell you about Justin Fields' ability to run an offense / be a long-term starter?
Because Justin Fields, 26, seen 2 different organizations. Now he's got Jeremy Ruckert, his tight end from Ohio State, and he's got Garrett Wilson, his wide receiver from Ohio State. So they're bringing all the pieces in, Chris. They're starting to get free agents. They're starting to plug and play. 26-year-old athletic quarterback. Give me that any day of the week. Russell Wilson used to be a mobile quarterback. Aaron Rodgers runs around like he has cinder blocks on his feet. But you're telling me that you're willing to go through with the Aaron Rodgers circus when the Giants have enough to worry about?
As we give, billions of dollars to Ukraine to fight a proxy war, we have a southern border that's, being invaded.
100%. At this point, yep. Barring a trade up to number 1 in the draft.
Chris is
hands down, that's what I'll sign up for.
Chris is like, grab your ankles and kiss your ass goodbye because I'm getting Aaron Rodgers this offseason.
It's going to be the quarterback, so I think there's more pressure on him. So there's more pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and here's why. And we know this, right? Doggy, you're talking about what Aaron Rodgers had an opportunity to be, right? He had an opportunity for immortality. And, Stephen A is saying he has these things to prove. It's like Two-Face said on Batman, right? You either die a hero or you live long enough to be the villain. He's in the villain stage of his career. But if you find a way to win a championship with the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if the Minnesota Vikings decide to let you get a year of a run there, now your name is mentioned with the Peyton Mannings. Your name will be mentioned with the Joe Montanas.
You know what's so funny? The Aaron Rodgers experience, the Russell Wilson experience. How many experiences do these guys have? It should be an amusement ride at Disneyland, for Christ's sakes, with these 2 guys.
Neither of them are long for this league at this point, and they're just trying to get their last payday.
It's New York Minute Sports. It's New York Sports Talk with Sports Nuts. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and YouTube.